Hey everybody, HMV here. Playing more Kerbal Space Program, and this disgusting looking ship on the launch pad is the Serran III, and it's taken Lufert to the surface of Serran. And I'm going to assume it's also going to bring him home. I'm pretty sure it can do the former. I'm moderately sure it can do the latter. And in 3, 2, 1, and upside down, we are going to launch. This ship is... I'm sorry. I'm both proud and ashamed of this ship. We got to take these readings as we go up. The automatic thing is adding them, but for some reason it's not taking them, possibly because it's in the service bay, which is closed. We need to kind of take a fairly high launch with this guy, because when he loses these side engines, he's going to lose a lot of TWR. He does have some thumpers. Are these thumpers? No, terriers. He has terriers on the bottom of these, which are going to turn on when I drop these, which helps. But still, it takes a bit. He also is very squirrely on the launch. I'm actually going to keep you throughout the entire launch just to show you how terrible this ship controls. Do not ever make a ship like this. The main problem, I think, with this guy is these wings right here. But these are critical to landing on Serran successfully, because you can't really aerobrake. Well, you can, obviously, but you can't rely solely on aerobraking to get at least this ship all the way down. See, he's already bucking like a bronco here. It doesn't help that my frames per second is so low. I'm not sure why. The ship only has about 130 parts on it, so it really shouldn't. I'm wondering if it's all the control surfaces and things like that. I honestly don't know. But we're at 10 kilometers apoapsis. I'm already pitched over too far. I'm also flying upside down. Sorry, Lufert. All the blood is rushing to your head as we do this launch. We're at 13 kilometers. I think we're going to be fine. When I ditch these side tanks on the launch, it starts to spin, which is, I'm going to say, bad. And we're going to ditch these. Okay, we're starting to see atmospheric effects, and goodbye. And then, see, there's the terriers helping out here. Also notice our time to apoapsis is going down, which is always a bad thing. It's not an ugly ship. Well, yeah, it is an ugly ship, but it's kind of pretty in its own way. But I'm going to keep aiming up here. Normally, I would be pitched over to the 40-degree mark by the time my apoapsis is at 20, but no, it's not going to happen with this guy. This guy needs some pitching up to help out here, because when he loses these side tanks, he has to be high enough in the atmosphere that these little fins at the back are enough to keep these fins at the front from flipping the ship around. And I would like to be probably, I'm thinking of maybe around 30 kilometers. I mean, I'm already past the second band, so I'm probably okay at 21. But the higher the better, really. And we're starting to get a little bit of a spin. I can correct it with the Q and the E keys. One of the problems is that it's backwards. So I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. If this thing starts spinning out of control, I basically can't fix it. I have to keep it kind of balanced. I'm sitting here like balancing it as if it's a top or something, or as if it's like a baseball bat that you're balancing on the palm of your hand. That's the best way I can describe it. Only everything's backwards. See, and I'm pitched over farther than I want to be. I want to be around 30 right now. Our time to apoapsis is going up, which is good. But when I lose the side tanks, I would kind of like it to be pretty high. The higher the better, really. As long as it's under 1,000 or 100 kilometers, which it definitely will be. We're about to lose the side tanks. Just keeping this thing from spinning out of control. Apoapsis is at 40. We just lost the side tanks. Why? What did I just knock off my ship? Ugh. What did I knock off my ship? I have no idea. Okay. I'm going to, well, you know, we don't revert to launch, but this makes me mad. I knocked this thing off. This thing fell off. Okay, well, ditch the science. I just hit the parachutes, which was probably a bad idea, but that's okay, because we don't need those parachutes. Let's ditch that. Let's ditch the side tanks. And let's start the engine and get it going. Oh, that makes me mad. Okay, well, I'm gonna get Lufert down safely. I'm gonna fix my staging. That tank was important. That tank gets me to Serran. So I'm going to do all this. I'm gonna launch it again, and I'll come back as I'm getting ready to drop the Terriers. Okay, I came back a little bit early. I like this launch better. Not only because... Oh, now we're starting to turn here. Not only because I'm more confident with my staging, although I double-checked it, like, in flight, but because I'm at 30 and I'm actually pointed at the 40, which is where I wanted to be. And not until I get to 35 do I want to be down to the 35-degree mark. And I feel like I'm using less fuel, but that's possibly just... not actually true. Okay, we're going to keep it at the 35 mark here, or at least above the 30 mark until our apoapsis gets to 40. Oops, I corrected it the wrong way. Okay, 40, we're at 30. Okay, good. Just got to keep this thing from spinning out of control. Okay, we just switched to orbit mode. 45 almost. So now I'm at 25. Things are looking good. Oh, stop spinning out of control. Okay, we're about to drop our side tanks, which is where we were before. Goodbye. Okay, you would think that this thing would be easier to control with less junk on it, but that is completely untrue. We were at 50, so I actually want to be down to about 10 right now. Yeah, that spinning, I'm not causing that spinning. I'm stopping that spinning. This thing is still full of fuel, which is good. It's not draining yet. See, and if I cause the spin to go the other way, the game accepts that and just sends it the other way. It's pretty crazy. Okay. I want to get my apoapsis up to about 100 here. And then I've got my finger on X. I'm ready to hit it the second we get to 100 on the apoapsis. It's getting harder and harder to control, too. It's getting harder and harder to stop it from spinning. I'm not watching that very much. And as I said, hold on a second. There we go, 102. Okay, I'm going to turn the computer off and just let this do what it's saying. And as you notice, I'm actually, and I think I said this at the beginning, I'm flying this thing completely backwards. That's because this is upside down at the bottom of the lander because I don't have ladders and I don't think Kerbals can jetpack fly on Serran. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just guessing it because it's a terrestrial planet with an atmosphere. Granted, Duna is a terrestrial planet with an atmosphere, but I think Serran's a little bit bigger than Duna. Okay, we are in space. Yay, we're in space. I have a very tiny amount of fuel left in these guys, which is good because we're almost in orbit. So I'm going to get this guy's apoapsis, get close to the apoapsis within about, I would say, 30 seconds to it. Or 8, whatever. And then we're going to crank him over very slowly because the only torque he has is in the command pod. I'm not sure if that's so much by design as I don't care enough to do it. Okay, we are past apoapsis, so I'm going to... Okay, these guys are out of fuel, so I'm going to ditch them. Now we've got these guys. So now these guys are actually going to get us to apoapsis. Or get us to, I should say, periapsis above the atmosphere. And apoapsis above... Oh, we're actually beyond apoapsis, aren't we? Okay, so we need to... There we go, 92 by 111. Not my best orbit, but hey, what are you going to do? Okay, now, this fuel tank's whole job is to get me to Serran. We should have about $1,000 of DV in this, I'm hoping. So, let's go ahead and get to Serran, shall we? We're going to do it the cheap and cheesy way, which is to just get out of curve and sphere of influence. Let's target Serran. Okay, we're going to jump forward a bunch of orbits until we're actually ejecting here so that we come in at the whatchamahoozit. And then we're going to change our time to eject to here. And then we'll just wait until we have an encounter, basically. I don't care enough to send the very best. I don't care enough to... there we go, 770. If we just fiddle with the time to get... There we go. Perfect. So we're just going to do this, and then we're going to wait for an encounter. Now, we can't aim at the maneuver node, remember. We have to aim at the anti-maneuver node, which is conveniently put on here by, I think, enhanced navball. I'm not 100% sure of that. I think it's enhanced navball that puts this marker on here. And I always wondered what this marker was, actually. I thought because it's the same color as the radial markers, I could never figure out what it was. And then it just, like, dawned on me one day. It's like, oh, it's the anti-radial marker, or it's the anti-maneuver marker. But anyway, I'm going to not time warp at the ship because you can only time warp it 50 times. I'm going to do this burn. I'll come back as I'm ditching this thing or as I'm completing the burn, depending on what comes first. Okay, the burn is almost done here. And nicely, we still have fuel left in this guy, which is awesome. That is so fantastic, because actually we burned too much. So let's aim ourselves prograde and burn a little bit less. Looks like we burned about 5, maybe 10 meters per second too much. Sorry if you can hear thumping in my background. It sounds like the garbage man is here. And of course, as always, I'm wrong. I didn't burn too much. I didn't burn enough. So we're just going to burn this down so we come in right there. Okay. Now, right here, we're going to add a maneuver node. Looks like we're going to be very close to this guy, so we can just burn forward until we get an encounter. There we go. Boom. 119 meters per second. I think we're going to have that in the tank, because the tank has 67 meters per second, and we were doing about 2 liters per fuel per meter, or 2 meters per second per liter of fuel. So ideally we'll have that. And then that's what I wanted, because I ideally want to land this guy on Serran completely full of fuel. He should have enough fuel to get home, even if he's used some, but I don't want to test that, to be honest. So, Lufert, let's get out here. Let's also turn on this, because we're going to get temperature readings as we go, because I think this is the first time we've sent a thermometer to at least some of these places. Okay, again, I'm aiming at the anti-maneuver node. Just go down to about here and hit the gas. I'm watching this. Oh yeah, we have plenty of fuel. We're actually going to use some of this fuel to slow down, I think. Yeah, see, this thing still has spin to it, though, which I don't like. Let's just go ahead and delete this and tweak this thing manually here. Whoop. Okay, where is Sana? There you are. We're coming in nice and equatorial, too. I would like to get my periapsis to about, I would say, 25, maybe? 20? Honestly, don't know. Should probably know, but hey. Let's go 28. Nah, let's go a little bit lower than that. 21. We're going to go with 21. I'm pretty sure 21 is fine. And we still have fuel in this thing, but it is now a detriment. Although it does pull my center of mass forward. Tell you what, we'll keep it until we get in the atmosphere and see what happens. Okay, computer off. Let's orbit here. We got 10 days before we meet up with Sana. There it is. We're catching up to it slowly. Let's see what trajectory says is going to happen here. Trajectory says we are not going to get captured on this first run. It also looks like we're going to be landing on the dark side, which I just really can't do much about. Really, at 21 kilometers, we're not going to get captured. I find that hard to believe, but let's just assume it's right. Let's add a periapsis alarm, and let's add it for, say, 3 minutes until, because we all know Kerbal Space Program can't accurately stop on a hyperbolic orbit, but Kerbal Alarm Clock can. This crazy space jet that he's flying in here. We are, yep, we're looking at 98 kilometers off. At 61 is the atmosphere. So we'll just go right down to it. There we go. And we are, yeah, we don't have our thing on. Let's just see what happens here. We can always dump this at any time if we feel it is a detriment. Okay, but we should flip around here. I'm actually going to try to force it to flip around. Okay, it is aerodynamically stable backwards. So I guess we'll just leave that. As long as this parachute doesn't blow up. The materials bay can blow up. I would prefer it doesn't, because I want that science from the surface. All these fins, in theory, could blow up, but I would prefer it if they don't. We've been captured, so no matter what happens, we're going to eventually hit the ground. That'll happen most definitely. Things are turning red. I'm pretty sure it's these side fins, which I would rather have on the launch, but if I don't have them, I'm pretty sure I can do it anyway. Yeah, I'm actually seriously considering when we reach periapsis, burning the engines until this fuel's gone. Oh, we just lost a fin? Just burning this fuel away, and then we're going to ditch this thing. And goodbye. And now we're spinning out of control. We just flipped around, which is, yeah, this is the way we want to come down. I just realized this is not very aerodynamic at the front, but we'll see what happens. Probably should have put this service bay on top of this thing. The service bay on top of the materials bay. Looks like we're fine. Looks like we only lost one fin, which is not ideal, but hey, what are you going to do? I'm just going to turn the computer off, let it do what it wants. Looks like we are definitely coming down this orbit, and we're coming down basically at midnight. This thing has a decent amount of drag, which is by design. But we have to remember that we're flying it backwards. Okay, I'm going to turn the computer on. We're flying it backwards, which means we want to nose up. Now it's flying itself backwards. By aiming at the ground, we're actually nosing up. We got to remember that. And this is by no means anywhere near as controllable as I was hoping it would be. Partially because I don't have anything on the back here. But as long as we keep it... I mean, we're not flying. This is basically the gliding aspect of this is just to give it enough lift to stay in the air long enough to slow down enough so the parachutes can work. And of course, that's not going to do anything if we're aimed directly at the ground. There we go. We're fine with electric charge. I would honestly like a little bit more. I think the problem here is that we're missing that fin. But I think once we get below, say, 800 meters per second, we should be fine. The last thing I want to do is use fuel. Oh, history, good, material study, and crew report. Keep those. Okay. Yeah, mostly I'm just trying to keep this thing aiming up as much as possible. And by aiming up, I mean aiming down. And it looks like it's getting more controllable here. He says as it spins out of control. There we go. Yeah, see, I'm when it's in the blue, I'm forcing it to get into the brown faster. And when it's in the brown, I'm trying to hold it. And neither one of those is actually working very well. Oh! Yep, 800 meters per second. It seems to be starting to get... Well, okay, maybe not more controllable is the right word. It's... less uncontrollable? Does that work? I think I could probably pull this. I can't pull this at 200. I'm sorry, at like 350 or whatever. I can't pull the chutes. But I can probably pull the chutes at around 275 or so, and they'll survive long enough to hold. And actually, as I'm saying that, I'm thinking possibly 2 sets of chutes is a good idea. Doesn't really matter which ones. I'm going to have 4 of them go at, well, we're at 275 now, actually, so there we go, and there we go. The chutes are done. Let's take another crew report. Whew. Okay, let's get the landing gear down. This was a lot more terrifying than I thought it would be. And the aerodynamics are probably going to be all wonky until it... actually, let's turn the computer off. Might as well save battery. The aerodynamics, until the chutes actually pull, this thing is crazy aerodynamic, but they should be fine once they land. Or what? Yeah, once the chutes expand, I guess I should say. We're landing in a kind of a black, dark area here. Not a big deal. They've opened, and look at that. We're fine, and we're under 7 meters a second. Just. Okay, let's get you back down. Or down, I should say. Everything has been more difficult than I thought, but it's actually going quite well, to be honest. I'm also going to turn myself so that 90 is down. Like it was during the launch, I think. Because we're going to be launching to the 270. There we go. We're going to be launching to 270 because that is actually 90 because we're facing upside down. And landed! Ha 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 ha! Whew, okay, quick save in case the Kraken kills me. We're going to take all these observations that we can. We are going to do our EVA report. EVA report and surface sample. Store those in the pod. Then we should be able to get one flying. Flying, there we go. Keep that data, store that in the pod. And now, you don't need to take these, but I guess we'll take them anyway. We are gonna plant a flag. This is something we don't normally do in this game. But I think Lufert deserves a flag plant after this. Serran first landing. Suck it, Jeb. The first words on Serran. Okay, let's go ahead and try the jetpack here. Yeah, so you cannot jetpack on Serran. That's nice to know, but that's okay because I tested this on the launch pad. Oh, you can actually just board. Dump your experiments. Oh, on the launch pad at Kerbin, he I'm gonna go ahead and take all those. Okay, now I gotta get rid of this. So we're gonna decouple this, and it's gonna fall back down on the ship, and okay, good. That's all I wanted. I'm glad I did this after. I should have probably transferred electric charge, but hey, what are you gonna do? Okay, let's wait till daytime. Okay, there's daytime. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna hit Z, and then we are going to launch up and back. And when these engines run out, I need to flip around, which is kind of crazy, but that'll work. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Lufert is going to launch. Go ahead and keep that data. We need to turn the computer on. Jeez. Okay, so this is basically an abbreviated Kerbin launch, but not quite as aggressive as Duna. I'm basically kind of going about 1,000 meters ahead of time on some of these markers that I normally hit. ditch those, spin around, hit the gas. Okay, we have 1,500 meters per second to get home. I'm hoping that's enough. I'm hoping I didn't screw up my calculations at all. Once we get our apoapsis up to 70, though, I'm going to cut the engines, and we're going to coast up to it. Perfect. Turn the computer off, save that electric charge. We've only got 9 units of electric charge left. 70 by 74. There we go. And we've got 886 left. According to my little chart here, I should need 650 to get home. So, I mean, that's a pretty good margin, actually. That's about a 20-some-odd% margin. And this should leave us about 200 meters per second to actually encounter Kerbin. And then Lufert is going to come home a hero. All we're doing is getting these things together with a periapsis of, let's say, 30. 35.7. I think that is fair. Okay, we're going to hold on to the engine, though, because there's really no reason not to. And it'll probably pull us backwards anyway. So let's set up another periapsis alarm. Oh, look at that. Hey, Kerbin. Okay, I'm scared now. It's not as aerodynamically stable backwards as I thought it would be. So we're going to use some of that electric charge to hold it retrograde. We should already be... we're not captured yet. Okay, we are safely back in the Kerbin sphere of influence. We're down to 3.84 electric charge. Our engine is warming up. I think we're going to do the trick where we go to periapsis. And as soon as we're at periapsis, hit the gas. And then ditch. And I forgot to flip that thing around. Oops. Hopefully it won't hurt anything. Might actually add drag, who knows. It's definitely sucking up some heat. That's a problem, though. It's not aerodynamically stable. And we're almost out of electric charge. This is going to be where it gets scary. Because we have to bleed off a lot of meters per second before the parachute's going to be safe. Yeah, we're not coming down this orbit. We got to go a whole orbit. Give everything a chance to cool down, I suppose. But it wouldn't be an episode of HMV Plays Kerbal Space Program without not knowing whether or not you're going to survive re-entry. I really wish this guy was not aerodynamically stable sideways. I'll tell you that much. Okay, we have been captured. We're definitely coming down this orbit. The parachute is actually standing up better than the decoupler. We've just broken the 2 kilometer per second threshold here. Looks like we're going to be coming over these mountains. Maybe into the water over there. I can't really tell yet. But I think we're going to be fine. I think we're good. I even think the thermometer's going to survive. Oh, we can do a temperature scan. Let's go ahead and do it. Look at that. Over Kerbin's grasslands. Oh, we had over Kerbin's shores for a second there, if I had gotten it. Okay. Okay, let's see how profitable a trip to Serran's surface is in science. 185! That's good. That means we can get 2 science nodes. Lufert, you are going down in the annals of Kerbal history. That means we can get this big aerodynamics one, which would have been handy, to be honest, on the thing. Let's go ahead and get that. And we can also get a bunch of stuff I don't care about, although the bigger parachute doesn't hurt. Heat shield doesn't really hurt. Bigger landing gear, not going to complain. But there we go. We've done those. Next up on the docket, I think I said this last time, but it's probably true this time, is an expedition into Sauna. And I've decided to do a probe. And the probe is going to go into Sauna's atmosphere and then take some readings and then ideally get back to Kerbin with those readings. That's the goal. And I'm hoping using that to unlock at least this tech node, which is going to give us RCS and better reaction wheels and stuff. And then once we get this science here, we're going to be able to do more science around and pick up more stuff. Once we get this, I'm going to be very comfortable leaving Sauna's sphere of influence. That's kind of what I'm waiting for is the docking port. Because once you get the docking port, you can do anything. And then obviously solar panels are very important too. But that's all in the future. This was the past, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. I definitely enjoyed playing it. I'm HMV, and I will, as always, talk at you later.